Good morning. I had a few minutes trying to get ready for work. I didn't realize how wrinkled, and I've got water down the front of my shirt. Trying to get myself out the door. This has been the longest week I feel of my life. I filled in on Monday. My counterpart, she was out of the country for her birthday. Yay for her. So I worked Monday, which I normally don't work on Monday, which threw off my Tuesday. Yesterday being Wednesday, I felt like it should have been Thursday because normally I only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I have my other job that I do on the weekend. But this week alone, I am reminded why I wanted to teach my art classes. Why I wanted to business coach creative-minded women who wanted to start side hustles. Why I wanted to teach how to put a vision board together based in life coaching, understanding where you came from, you being a product of environment, and where you are hoping to go with the rest of your life. It's never too late. You're never too old, and you only fail if you do not try. No is always going to be the answer if you do not ask the correct questions. This week alone in the restaurant industry, there were a couple nights I wasn't real sure I was going back in the next day. And that is typically not how I operate. I mean, I will get to a point and I will be like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore because my mental well-being is more important than any paycheck. And because of the lack of structure in the industry, just in general, and people showing up with large parties and, let me explain it so those of you who don't know the restaurant industry, you invite me over for dinner. I come to your home. Not only do I come, but I bring 15 people with me. You're not prepared for 15 people. It was probably more than enough to be prepared for one. You don't know how you're going to manage in your kitchen with 15 people. 15 people come in and you say, well, you can sit here, and 5 of my 15 group, they're like, no, we don't like this arrangement. We're going to go out on your porch. And they're grabbing things in your home, your house, as they are heading out to the porch. When they get out to your porch, they say, can you put up some umbrellas? Can you bring us some more water? Can you move, the sun? Because it's too hot out here, but we want to sit out here. That's about how my week has been. I've started following somebody new. Her name's Alicia, and she always says, I'm a corporate mom. Well, I'm not a corporate mom. I'm a restaurant gal who's had my fill. Yesterday, a 30 top came in kind of out of nowhere. I don't know how much more I can do of it, and it reminds me of why I so wanted to move to the country, wanted to sell my merchandise on my property, why I wanted to teach all of my art and communication classes, why I wanted to write a book. When you love what you do, money always follows. And if you are living by somebody else's lack of structure, it will destroy who you are. I don't typically predict things. It's not really who I am, although I'm really, really good at having intuition. Today, though, could be a very powerful, explosive type day. I think people are on the verge, on the brink of losing their cool. I think many, many people are at the edge of working themselves into a tizzy with nothing to show for it. I say to the kid last night, because I have not cooked in over a week. He's been bringing stuff home. I've been bringing stuff home. I just haven't felt like it, mentally just done. And I say to him, I promise I'll go to the grocery store tomorrow and I'll buy groceries. And I mean, we're not doing without food-wise, but it is not me when I am not cooking, or when you don't see me online trying to promote what I do or who I am. And I am Kitryn Marie, reside in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm an artist, writer, speaker, life and a business coach. Teach a variety of art and communication classes. Many of the classes are based in perception, perspective, life coaching, psychology, things that I have studied along the way that I turned around and learned how to teach in any of my art classes, even my group painting classes. People are really, really struggling right now. They are dealing with the shadow side of them that they don't like. Age just keeps happening. Time passes by. Nothing really has changed in life because people have continued with this downward spiral of the same. You'll hear my dogs. I've got them running loose. Shug. Come here now. But I think today could be a very powerful, explosive day. There's a lot of pent-up anger, a lot of pent-up words with nowhere to go. People want something different. They want resolve, and they don't know where to go to get the resolve. They can't find the words. They can't regulate their emotions. They know there's so much turmoil going on in the world, and they don't know what to do with all of this anguish that they are holding on to. So mind your words today. Pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to all those conversations that you are having in your head, because all that noise and all that nonsense, it does come out one way or the other. What else was I going to say? Drawing a blank at the moment. Got up really, really early this morning. But think about your own life. Think about your own turmoil. Think about all the conversations you want to have. Think about all the range of anger that you are living with that you don't know where to put it. And you don't necessarily want to direct it to one person, but because you cannot formulate your own life and your own actions, how it's showing up in your life and how it is showing up with all the people that you surround yourself with. I do want to get back to teaching. I very much need to lean out of the restaurant industry. I've fallen down a whole bunch of rabbit holes in the restaurant industry, and I'm not the only one that feels like this. And very many people are jumping ship. Very many restaurants have so many openings, but because they need to cut labor, because there's not enough business, so nobody wants to turn away any business that comes in. There are so many trickle-down effects. For those of you who have been following me for a little bit, those that are new to, my YouTube page, and I'm mostly on YouTube now. I'll put something up on Facebook, but rarely. I use TikTok for my learning purposes and just kind of seeing what's going on in the world, which I try to detach to very much. But a lot of my short form contact, the things that I have been putting up there are the things that I do talk about in my vision board class. We talk about those toxic relationships. We talk about the type of individuals that you get involved with. We talk as much as you want to be open in the things that have happened in your life. You know, I always say, I'm not a doctor, not a psychiatrist, not a psychologist, don't play one on TV, but at this point, I'm just like manifesting. Make me an offer. Let me do something on TV. And I say that half kidding. But I talk about all those things in my vision board class. We talk about how to regulate an emotion. We talk about what kind of mood are you in when your partner, person, boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever comes home from their job. And then how do you have to try to regulate their emotion when they don't know how to decompress from the day? You know, when I started teaching, when I started speaking, again, it goes back to it's all I wanted to do was just live on a little piece of land, have a few animals, you know, teach my classes, go on a couple really, really good road trips during the year, not to escape, but to learn about experiences and to have these adventures so it would create memories. Not going to stay on here real long today, but just I wanted to remind everyone, mind your manners today. Have some etiquette. Think about your own emotions. Think about the job that you are doing and how it is affecting you mentally, physically, emotionally. And then those that you are coming in contact with, how is that rubbing off on them and what is that relationship like? Again, you are never too old and it is never too late. And if you do not ask, the answer will always be no. You are not a failure if you continue to try to do something better for your life. But I'm Kitryn Marie, an artist, writer, speaker, life, and a business coach. Reside in St. Louis, Missouri. Be happy, be blessed, be thankful for everything. Remember, fate turns on a dime, and it is up to you to decide what side of that coin you want to be on. Y'all take care, and I will see you real soon, and keep your fingers crossed for today. I feel like today and tomorrow there's a lot riding on a lot of our shoulders. And although the planets are in this really good transit for the next, 80 years of our life, most of us won't be around for the next possibly 25, 30. Make the most out of what you have in front of you. Make your life better. Make it have purpose. Allow it to have meaning. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.